What's up, people? It's Uncle Dallas. I'm here live and in color, living my life, living my best life. How you feeling today? Yeah. So today we're going to stay on the subject of the ultimate prayer. I really think that's a good subject for us to stay on. So make sure that you have everything you need, your paper, your pencil, all the stuff that you need in order to get started and to hear what we have to say today. I appreciate you guys for coming. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. So, grab everything you need. Let's get with it. Oh, we got sound. We didn't turn it off. So, today, if you've not there, we're going to Matthew. This is the prayer that, now I'm not going to get deep into this because I want to talk today. I want to get some things off my mind and really get into some details of some stuff. Okay. So, to begin with, I need everybody here to grab something to write with, because I'm going to share a level of information that probably is going to be revolutionizing to your life. I'm going to share something with you. So those of you that are on other platforms, get ready. Get ready. This is going to be noteworthy of what's going on in a lot of your lives. Join me on youtube.com/higher talk. Okay. We're going to take this a little deeper. We're going to make this funky. Let's just make this funky. Woo. Let's not drop it. Let's make it funky, but let's not drop it. So, got it. Okay, so still have the earbud in, and make sure you're off. Yeah, make sure you're off. Put that over there. Let's get started. There are a number of things that you're dealing with right now. Most of you are dealing on a different level. I'm going to take you to a new level, so please have something to write with. If you don't have something to write with, go get something to write with, because I'm going to need you to take down some notes. All right? I'm going to need you to take down some notes. One of the things that you're going to have to understand in this movement of your life is faith, fear, and follow through. Write that down. Faith, and I know they're really strange places. Faith, fear, and follow through. All right? Faith, fear, and follow through. So I'm going to write that down. Faith, fear, and follow through. Okay? Now, I'm writing them down as well. Faith, fear, and follow through. Okay? Just write it like that. Faith, fear, and follow through. Okay? And I have this in front of me because it's kind of our set. It's kind of layout for what we have. But what I'm about to take you to a whole different place. So Hebrews 11th chapter, and I need you to pay attention to this, because a lot of us are in binded, twisted, tied positions. We are in positions where it seems as though we don't know what's going to happen next. We're in positions where we don't know how it seems that we're going to get out of these situations. But I need you to pay attention to it. So somebody that is watching, make sure you write that down. Write down faith, fear, and follow through. Okay? I promise you, as a matter of fact, I'm going to quote, but let's do Hebrews first. Let's do Hebrews first. I was going to do the ultimate prayer, but I'm about to do the ultimate prayer. Faith, fear, and follow through. That is what this title, we'll title this as well. Faith, fear, and follow through. Okay? So within that passage number 1, Hebrews 11th chapter and the 3rd verse. Just write that down. There for you. The New Testament, the book of Hebrews, the 11th chapter and the 3rd verse. Okay? I don't have my little highlighters here because I got rid of my pens. Okay? Hebrews 11. You writing these things down, guys? Okay, Hebrews 11 and 3. First thing. Now, go beyond Hebrews 11 and 3. I pray this morning that the words that I utilize and the words that I speak bring favor to everyone that is listening. And I pray that they help them to move beyond the place that they're in to the place where you've called them to be, Father. I know that you have. I know that you are the Father of their salvation. I know that you're everything that they have need of. And we thank you for it. Amen. Now, Philippians 3. Hold it. Let me make sure I wrote my own scriptures down. Philippians 3. Oh, wrong book. Where is it? I just wrote it down. I don't know where I wrote it, guys. Doesn't matter. Oh, yeah, it is. So, I said Hebrews 11:3. I got to stop doing these things off the top of my head. Philippians 3 and 8. Okay. And then Proverbs 23 and I think it's 23 and 7. Yeah, Proverbs 23 and 7. Let me make sure before I say it. Don't write that one down yet. Proverbs 23 and 7. I think it's 23 and 7. Let's make sure. I'm about to take you to a new level. I'm ready for you guys to go. Proverbs 23 and 7. Correct. Proverbs 23 and 7. Okay. Proverbs 23 and 7. So, I'm gonna go through those, but I need to go ahead and teach you. Okay. Everybody that is on here that is having some kind of challenge in your life that you know needs to be satisfied. That you know needs to be satisfied. Now, there's a guy I need to find. He goes, roll with me. I love this guy. He's on TikTok. I love him. He's funny. So I'm going to use this term, roll with me. I think he needs to copyright that or patent that. So, follow me here. Everybody here is putting attention to something in their lives. You put some type of attention into something in your life. Whatever that attention is, whatever that thing is, you put attention within it. And that attention is given to you. And I told you guys I'm going to go deep today. Put you over here. And that attention that you're giving to that particular thing gives you either value or devalues you, one or the other. It either gives you value or it devalues you. That's what that attention does. Now, the Bible says this: whatsoever man soweth, that shall he reap. That means if you're giving something into something, you are giving that thing power to be in your life. It's not what we thought it was. We thought it was giving money and not giving money and all that kind of stuff. When in actuality, what it was those things were what you're going to give into your life or what you're not going to give into your life. So whatsoever man soweth, that shall he reap. Now, when you look at the 3 passages that I told you guys to write down, they're going to make sense. I'm walking yesterday. I go to there's a sporting goods store in the neighborhood. I go to the sporting goods store to get my trusty basketball, which will be around. And while I'm getting my trusty basketball, I go to get some air in my trusty basketball. I'm walking. So this is my first step into the walking world, where I'm actually exercising for the lack of a better term. On my way back, I'm praying. I'm going, God, my Lord. I'm going, God, I need to understand how, and this is the prayer that I had to God. I didn't go, in the name of Jesus. No, I simply said, Father, I need to understand, how do we transition from this place to this place? in everything we know. At that moment, a friend of mine calls me up and talks to me about her mother passing and says to me, my mother passed, and I know that it was part of the plan of God because it's about a decision. And I've taught that for years. But I want to take the time to tell you, not only do I want to amend that, I want to add to it. Well, that's amending. I want to change it a little bit with the amendment. So I'm like, God, is where I am in my life a choice? I want everybody that can type, everybody that can write, I want you to type, I choose a better place. Okay? I choose a better place. I choose a better place. I choose a better place. Join me on youtube.com/higher talk. I choose a better place. If you can, please do. All right? Because Instagram may stay, they may not. That's on them. They have good days, they have bad days. Okay, I choose a better place. Okay? All right. So, I choose a better place. Now, follow me here. So I said, okay, God, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to handle this? And the Lord says this to me. He said, I need you to forget everything you know about where you want to go. That is a choice. He said, I need you to forget everything you know about where you want to go. And I'm like, okay, God, so I need you to hear me. Let me tell you how deep this was. Because when he said that, I heard Yoda saying, you must unlearn what you have learned. That means you have to pull the very root of what you think and what you think you know about everything and allow God to rebuild the foundation or frame, Hebrews, frame. And I'm sitting here as I'm walking, I'm going, help me out with this, God. That means, he said, you have to come to me with no knowledge and no information. And you have to flow with me according to where I want you to go. So the first thing that had to take place is you had to let that stuff go. I choose a better place. When I say that, when you say that, you mean I have now made a decision that where I am, whether it's good or bad or happy or sad, whether it's a high or a low, whether you like it or you don't, I choose a different place. Now, here's where that gets sticky. Some of you, in choosing a different place, don't choose a different place. You just choose different aspects of the present place. So what happens to you is you are attached to things that hold you here. So you've never made a change. You just made an alteration. You follow me? Pants are too long, you make them shorter. You've just made an alteration. But he said you have to let go of everything. You've got to unlearn. Now, he's not saying walk around dumb. So I'm going and dealing with God on this. I'm going, God, you need to help me. What do you mean? He said, think about it. The things that you fear, the things that you fear, you hold close to them and you don't really give them to me because you're holding yourself accountable that what you think is going to happen, and how you think you're going to respond to it is the way that it's going to happen. For example, for those of you that say, I'm afraid of heights, you have not forgotten everything. You said, when I was little, I saw it, I am afraid of it. So you've not forgotten everything. Let it all go. So I'm going, okay, what is let it all go? He said, the scripture says, come to me as a child. So that means my granddaughter Raylan will say something, and when she says something, she says it purely on the fact that that moment presented that question, presented that result. That moment presented that question and presented that result. It was not a question from yesterday. It wasn't a question from tomorrow. That moment created that question, created that result. I'm going somewhere. I promise you. I promise I'm going somewhere with this. So that means that God is going, everything that you think you know about prayer, everything you think you know about hearing from God, everything you think you know about how to utilize that information, all those things have to go to the side, have to get out, have to go away so that God can give you, hear me, the instructions necessary to get to this place. I need you to hear me. So I go and I can't reach it now. I'll go outside of the screen. Yeah. Hold on for a second. I go and I get this. This is my basketball. I go and I get this. Follow me. It's going to sound crazy. When I go get my basketball, I start to think about going to play basketball. Now, follow me. This is going to play basketball. I'm 6'6". I'm fairly healthy. I'm going to play basketball. Okay? So in my process of going to play basketball, all the things that happened in that process, God said those things. Those things. So thing number one, I said, I can't go play basketball because it's going to rain. I don't know that it's going to rain, but I've been taught the evidence of a cloudy sky means that it's going to rain. But I don't know that it's going to rain. You follow me? It's going to be a whole bunch of guys out there. I don't want to be bothered with them. I don't know anybody's out there because I have not been out there. So I've not been in that position presenting that question and that result. So I can't go out there and assume that. You follow me? Why? Because I need you to hear this deep revelation. God is blessing some of you in the obedience to your next level. God is taking some. I'm sorry, guys. Here's the basketball. I forgot you guys can't see it. Here's the basketball. Here's the basketball. God is blessing some of you now for this next thing. So I'm going, God, I don't want to go out there and then my wife is going to need me. You don't know these things, but they become the fears that attack the faith that you have in God. You follow me? They become you have assumed that there are no men in the world. You're assuming why? But here's the other side of that. The other side of that is when you let everything go, he prepares you for what you've asked him for. So let's go back to this thing here. So basketball, for example, basketball. I'm going to go play basketball. Probably go today. I'm going to go play basketball. When I decide to go play basketball, my decision to go play basketball is a decision that should be inspired by the Spirit. And if it's inspired by the Spirit, I can't add my fears to what he says. I have to simply look at it like, Raylan, come here. Raylan comes. Raylan doesn't. When she gets to the point, she asks questions. Check it out. When she gets to the point, she begins to ask questions. She does not ask questions before. She doesn't ask questions about. She doesn't remind me 35 days. She comes in, what you want, Pop-Pop? I said, come here, Pop-Pop wants to get a hug. She gives Pop-Pop a hug. She doesn't give Pop-Pop a hug according to the fact that I got on her case because she did something to be it. She doesn't get on with. She doesn't compare that moment to other moments. She simply utilizes the moment and gets the benefit from that moment. Is anybody there? I said you have to unlearn what you've learned. Why? Because if you don't, you miss out on what God has for you and you won't follow through. So I'm talking to a friend of mine on the phone, one of my spiritual sisters. And I say to them, I said, that means that little law that says because you're dating the man, she can't date the man, you got to let that law go. What? That's you got to let that go. That little thing that says just because he said something, you can't say anything back to him, or all women, you can't speak to men. You have to speak. You have to be demure and sit back and wait for him to say something to you. That has to go. I can't walk in the pulpit because that's a holy place. Got to go. I got to wear white gloves before I do the sacrament. Got to go. Tithing. Got to go. Those are spiritual things. Hold on, gets better. I don't want to speak to. I don't want to speak to Jennifer no more. Got to go. All of it's got to go. It's got to go. Why? Because what you're doing is within what God is doing. You're now deciding the magnitude of how you want God to move. So that stuff has to go. You have to forget everything. Now, I don't mean blank your mind. Your mind's not going to be blank. But I mean, you have to forget everything. Some of you are holding on to things in the hopes that you won't lose, or in the hopes that one day your ship will come in. It got to go. It's got to go. And the reason it has to go, and this is why he said that, what if, and I'm using this as an example, what if you go to the basketball court and what you've been looking for from me is there? Why? Because we have thought that we understand God so much that we take a little bit of God and a little bit of us. So we don't follow through. We don't follow through. Why we don't follow through is because in this, you have to make sure that you are comfortable in where he moves you. But where he's moving you is not going to be comfortable because you're comfortable here. You're comfortable here. We'll just have to work. You're comfortable here. If you weren't comfortable, you'd get out of there. Well, I can't get out of there. I choose a better place. When you choose a better place, your prayers go to a better place, which make them ultimate prayers. Your mindset goes to another place. Your actions go to another place. Your path is another place. Everything. Why? Because you got to be ready for the long game. Most of you are not ready for the long game. And the reason you're not ready for the long game, is because you are satisfied in your brokenness. You're satisfied in your brokenness. You got a book? I don't care what book it is. Get online and tell everybody that joins your organization they can have every book you have. Got to go. Yeah, I know. Now you're looking at this thing like, oh my God, every book that you have, they can have it. Use that book, use that thing to draw people to you so they can hear. Use that gift. Gotta go. It's all gotta go. It's all gotta go. Why? Because you have set up a structure that you can't get through. You can't get through this structure because there are things that you fear. I love the Lord. Yeah, you love him as long as he's okay with what you are doing and how you're doing it. You follow me? He said, unlearn everything that you have learned. Some of you are going to get healed. Some of you will be blessed financially. Some of you are going to meet relationships. All these things are going to happen. But what you have to do is uproot. And I'm talking about me. This has nothing to do with you guys. I am talking about me. Right now, I tell you guys, if I say because there are a few of you that can't walk a mile tomorrow. The mindset of a mile just messed you up. A mile? Gone. Destination gone. Follow through gone. Your fear and your apprehension have stopped God from moving in your life. All of us. All of us. I'm dealing with one issue and another issue and another issue, and I've already come up why that issue is going to work and why that issue is not going to work. I've already said, no, that's not what's going to happen. People say, well, they've shadow banned you and all these kind of things. I knew nothing about that stuff to get to 189,000. And guys, we're going for 190,000 people before the end of the week, next week. Because we succumb to say, well, it's the algorithm. I did not utilize the algorithm, and God told me this. He said, did you use the algorithm to get where you are? He said, how many dances how many songs do they send you online all the time? Say, sing this song, your algorithm will go to that whole nother level. You didn't use the algorithm. What did you use? The Spirit of God. Why haven't I used the Spirit of God? Why? Because I tell you to get on TikTok, you got a fear behind it. If I tell you to get on Instagram, you got a fear behind it. If I tell you to write a book, you got a fear behind it. Everything has a fear behind it because you have faith, fear. You believe God, you love God, but everything you are trying to do has a fear behind it. I'm too old, I'm too fat, I'm too dumb, I'm too smart, I'm too white, I'm too black, you got a fear behind it. So instead of you throwing against the wall and see what happens, you don't do anything. And God is going, if you would just forget all that stuff. It's difficult because it has been ingrained in your mind for the last 20, 30, 40, and in some cases 50 years that you are insignificant, that you are insecure, that you don't have the capabilities, the skills to get it. People have left you on the back of the desert and treated you like you were nothing, to the point that whether you want to believe it or not, you start believing that you're nothing. You don't stand. See, I had to learn. I would sit in places by myself because I didn't want to talk to the other pastors. And God goes, why are you the one that has to back away? I made a comment to my wife when we first got married. I said, number one, no matter what goes on in this life, I don't care what happens with us, we sleep in the same bed all night. We paid enough for this bed. I don't care. You sleep on your side of the bed, I'll sleep on my side of the bed. But I'm not going to back away because of how I feel about you. Some of you are stuck because you are backing away. You have so much to offer. I remember we were sitting at one of our conferences and there was a young lady sitting over by herself and everybody else was having fun. And I said, hey, you, come over here. Why? Because she felt like that's what she's supposed to do. She felt like she's supposed to be in that corner by herself. No, you have so much to bring to the conversation. You have so much to bring to the table, but you will be afraid to bring it to the table, not because you're afraid of the people, because in your mind they told you, oh, you're supposed to be this way. You're supposed to be stoic. You're supposed to be deep. You're not supposed to laugh. You're not supposed to have fun. You can't say, what in the heck was going on? Oh my God, you said heck. Who cares? You got to unlearn all that stuff. You got to unlearn what they tell you about the pulpit, what they don't tell you about the pulpit, pews. You got to unlearn all that stuff. Why? Because until you unlearn it, you are in your mindset creating your own devils. Until you've unlearned it, you're in your own mind creating your own devils. These devils aren't real. They're yours. These demons ain't real. They're yours. Last night about 1 o'clock in the morning, I got on live. I got on the live about 1 o'clock in the morning. Well, about 11:30. I got on live about 11:30. And I'm working on some stuff. I'm working on the next release. And while I'm working on the stuff, somebody picks up the phone. They call me. And they go, hey, what about this, and this? And I'm going, I said, one day I'm going to work on that. So I began to teach about prayer and manifestation. So when I said that, the guy goes, I want that book. And he types it into the thing. Next thing I know, I get up this morning, Jessica calls me. She goes, what did you do last night? I go, nothing. I was asleep. No, I got an email about a book called, yeah, all these things happen at the same time. I wish you guys could be here with me right now. That is crazy. That's going to mess this whole thing up. I know it is. TikTok, I might have to turn you guys off. I don't have a book. And he said, I want the book. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could take the camera over here. There's a bird attached to my screen right now. He's sitting there on my screen. That's right this very minute. Okay, when I said something about him, he flew away. This has happened for 2 days. I don't know if he knows me. We're friends, but he's on the screen. Now, in the process of that, I'm going. I lost my place talking about the doggone bird and the phone ringing. So now, where was I, guys? Need some water now. I'll go with something else. So anyway, so what you had to do is I have to get to the point, and you have to get to this point. I'm just changing the subject because I don't remember where I was. You have to get to the point that you're not distracted by the things that you think are going to come get you. You don't know what's going to happen. Because if you are not sincerely connected to the Spirit of God at a magnitude that what you think about yourself almost seems like a conflict about what he's going to do, then you're not ready. So get ready. I need everybody to type it. Everybody can say, I let it all go, God, so you can give me better. He said, let it all go so I can show you a better way. Oh, the book. Okay, thank you. So we're talking about the book. Oh, yeah. So he says, I want the book. And well, what book do we have? What book are you talking about? And so Leslie gets, Jessica calls me this morning. She goes, what book did you sell? I go, I didn't sell a book. It was and so he got an email. Now, here's the interesting thing. At the moment that she said that, in my mind, I'm going, I don't have a book. Boom. I just missed the destination. I let it all go. If you've talked to me in the last couple of weeks, I let it all go. But you know what I could have done? I could have written a book. I got enough notes and stuff. I could have written a book on prayer meditation. I could have took all these things and transcribed it and done that. I could have done that whole thing on that. But I let it all go so that God can give me better. I let it all go so God can give me better. That's what I was trying to say. Let it all go so God can give you better. Until you do that, you will live the life that you have already created in your heart and in your mind. You will live this dimension because this is the dimension that you created. This is the dimension that you like. You like this dimension. You know why you don't want to go? Because you're tied to, you have soul ties. I've talked to so many women, so many men, so many people, and I said, well, why don't you move? Well, my family is here. What does that have to do with why you don't move? I like family. Okay, then make enough money so we all can move. Because we will go back before we go forward. I cannot let you do that anymore. I cannot justify letting you walk backwards when God has more for you forward. I cannot justify letting you go backwards when God has more for you forward. I can't let that. That can't happen. I cannot let that happen. Why? Because if I let that happen, ladies and gentlemen, what I do for you is I shipwreck you where you are. And some of you feel shipwrecked right now. When I began to teach earlier, I said, get out of the house, get away from the neighborhood, get out. Listen, get enough gas money right today that you go where you want to go. Stop complaining about gas prices, because the more you complain, the more you say that this is all I can get, God. Don't complain about gas prices. God, thank you very much. As the gas prices increase, that means you're going to increase me so that I can I can take care of my gas. Hand itching means that split a pole. All that stuff is ways to keep you where you are. So I had to unlearn it all. I got on live every day because I didn't want you guys to miss out on the revelation that God gave me. I didn't ask God how to do it. I didn't ask God when to do it. I decided the places that I felt like that I could give the most impact. I literally should be on the broadcast twice a week. Literally. Sunday and Tuesday. I literally should be building an empire so that when I do organizational things, I've got people in place so that I say, hey, I have a couples conference. Everybody come on to the couples conference. All you got to do is get your plane ticket. But I have focused, hear me, on the people more than the promise. How many have done that? You focus on the people more than the promise. See, your prayer has to be within the plan. God, I let it all go. Give me something better. I let it all go, God. Give me something better. I focus on you guys. And now most of you don't know this. Most of you have no idea how much of me I put into this to make sure you guys are okay. Most of you have no idea that I go through whole situations to make sure you're okay. I teach them. Some of you thinking, well, you're just taking our money. You're just taking our time. None of that is the case. None of that is the case. Because I love you guys like my own family. It's funny to me when I contact some of you, you call me, I call you back. They go, you call us back. Yes. Why wouldn't I call you back? Why would I do what everybody else has done to you? Leave you on the wayside. So if I don't call you back, don't take it as me mad at you and I can't call. I can't call you back. It's just me. Okay, so stop thinking that I'm avoiding you. I'm not avoiding you. I've got 3 different organizations that I'm running at this very moment. There is the Higher Standards organization, which you guys are a part of. There's the Art to Connection, or the Power Couple Support Network, which all my couples are a part of. And then there's the travel agency. And all those things, I am now running those things. Why? They're in the initial stages. They need manpower. But I've got to forget how I think they should be done. Because if I realize how I think they should be done, I then put myself in the position of being God over those things. I am sub-God. I'm secondary God. Omnipotent God, primary God is Jehovah. He's the one that's over everything. But I cannot put my personal and carnal mindset to what he has done spiritually. Let it all go. When you begin to take on a task, let's go through those 3 words so we can, because I'm not going to be here all day. I've already made the decision. Well, we've made the decision that we're not going to sit here and preach to you all day long. You get it in your 30 minutes. After that 30 minutes, you do what you have to do, and I'll get you the next one when it's time to go. So we have faith, fear, and follow through. So you have the faith to follow God. You know God speaks to you. And I talked to a friend of mine, I talked to somebody the other day, and I said, listen, if you have the faith to hear from God, why aren't you doing what he's telling you to do? If you have the faith to hear from God, faith is an action word. So faith means you are persuaded enough to move. Whatever the situation is, if you don't move, you don't have faith because you're not persuaded by who God is to move. You follow me? So the first thing you have to do is back to making the list of where you're going to go, making the things to where you're going to have what's going to happen. And so when you make that list, your faith is, God, I have no idea. I'm not trying to tell you how to do it. I'm not even trying to tell you what I know how to do because it doesn't matter. I told you people to go, I know, dangerous people, because they really don't want to know because they want you to think they know. There are people right now that are hurting, but if you tell them, why don't you try this? They don't try it. Why? Because in their mind, they're hurting and they feel like they know the way to get it done. Hooray. Right now, your things are, what do I need? I need to be in a new place. How do I get there, God? Now, if God says to you, now I'm going to tell you how William Dallas is dealing with this, how I am dealing with this, not you, me. How I am dealing with this. Right now, those of you that have ordered this, those of you that have ordered this, I have sent a copy to get it done. Some things came up, we couldn't get it done. Now, those things that came up had to do with money. I did not call you guys and go, I need another $100,000. I didn't call you guys to this. I just start making alterations. When I start making alterations, because I'm so dedicated to what I do, I don't look at the fact that I could have written a quick book for that young man and whoever else wanted that book because he just needed some instruction. I could have taken instruction because I'm concentrating on this, because I don't want you to think that I'm taking your money. My mindset, fear. So now the opportunity I could have had, hypothetically, let's just say the book on prayer and manifestation hits the internet and goes through the roof. I sell 1 million copies of that book. I don't sell 1 million copies of that book because I'm concentrating on making sure you don't think I'm trying to take your money for this book, $25. You follow me? So I'm trying to make this book better to send the book to you. And so when that comes in between the fact that I got to make sure make sure rent is taken care of, make sure all the business and taxes are done over all the organizations, make sure all these different things to go, make sure now that I take care of on these other responsibilities. All of these things happen because William Dallas, me, Uncle Dallas, has determined he has to handle them at a certain level. That was my fault. That wasn't your fault. That was my fault. My fear, they think I'm trying to take their money. My fear, oh, I need to give them all the word. My fear, I need to make sure. I. There's no I in God, but there's I in sin. Sin means missing the mark. It's hard for me to get off the call because I'm trying to give you all the things. I avoid friends. Why? Because I put this whole thing together. And so what I do now is, like you do, I avoid people because I don't want to be bothered with the people that are coming in on my personal life. You do it toward bill collectors. Because they have you at a point where they go, we're going to come take it. If God didn't say they're going to take it, they're not taking it. But what happens is, if God says they're not taking it, you've got to listen to him every step of the way so that you can get what he has. If I needed $100,000, how do I know that that book wasn't $100,000? You know why? I was afraid on this end. Fear will mess the vision up and make you think you're walking toward God when you're actually supposed to be walking this way, and you're slowly walking this way. You're slowly figuring out, you're slowly deviating from your faith, and you're starting to walk in your flesh. So you have faith, fear, and follow through. So follow me. Your faith, then your fear leads over here. So you're following through something that is never going to happen. Why? Because this is not the destination. You're over there when you're supposed to over here. The nearest point between two points is a straight line. But you've gone all over here and all over there and all around there and all around there. And you're going all the way around to get to a point that you could have went to just simply by obeying what the Spirit said. Well, how do I know what the Spirit said? Look at where you fear. And behind where you fear is probably what God is saying. Is probably what God is saying. And so what happens is, what is the opposite of fear? Opposite of fear is information. The opposite of fear is information. So what you have to realize is you need more information. I thought that was my responsibility. My responsibility is to give you more information. No, my responsibility is to speak into your life what he tells me to speak into your life. And when he says stop, stop. Why? Because there is a spiritual system that is like the brain. It is causing neurons and neurons to connect together. So I have to be in the position where as he creates another neuron that I'm able to move. Listen to me very closely. Everything, because I had to go through this and unlearn all of it. Everything that I said I was going to do, everything that I was trying to create, everything that I was trying to make happen, I am going to do it. Why? Because I've unlearned what I've learned. I've unlearned what I've learned. I set schedules on things that I feel in my mind instead of setting schedules on the spirit. I said, why? Because I was so afraid that I would not do, my God, I wouldn't be good at this. I am so afraid that I'm not going to be good at this. I've never had 189,000 people do anything for me, much less the 245 people that potentially follow us. So when I had people come and help me, it made me kind of deal with my fear. But those people's job wasn't to help me. It was my job to deal with my fear. Because within your fear, everything you desire is behind that. Fear, you know what fear does to your vision? Fear distracts your vision. It never goes away. It just distracts it. Why? Because when it distracts it, it makes you feel like you're moving in the right direction. It makes you feel like you're doing the right thing. It distracts you. And it gives you an avatar. Fear is like an artificial limb. You have a perfectly good leg, but they tell you and convince you to cut your leg off to give you a better leg. Or there are other things you could have done. You could have taken drugs. I mean, you could have taken herbs. There's a whole bunch of things you can do, but they decided to cut that. That's what fear is. Fear says, no, just cut the leg off. And now you walk in that place like You are walking in the same direction, but the key is fear slows you down and distracts it, because now the things that you could normally do, you feel like you can't do them because you are incapacitated. You are inoculated. You have so many spiritual drugs in you that you can't see clearly. I want to be good at this. I don't want to just be good at this because of God. I know how it feels to be in a situation where it looks hopeless. It looks like you don't know if you're going to make it tomorrow. You don't know. I know how that feels. I've been on that road before. But when I learned one thing, my prayers, my ultimate prayer was, move it all out of the way, God, and teach me how you want to do it. All of it, all out of the way. If he says, I need you to get rid of every book, give every book away, I give it away. If he says, I need you to go to Detroit, I go to Detroit. Why? Now, am I going to make mistakes? That is what grace is all about. I'm going to make mistakes. That's just the way it is. You're going to make mistakes. But in the process of moving toward God, your mistakes are not mistakes. They're learning opportunities to tell you how to do something better. Your mistakes are not mistakes. They're learning opportunities to show you how to do something better. Let me take it a step further. Your mistakes are not mistakes. They're just preparation for future. Your mistakes are not mistakes. They're just preparation for future. We have to stop being embarrassed to go back on what we had to say. We have to stop being embarrassed to not get past our ego and our pride. We got to stop being embarrassed to simply say, I need help. If we stop, because we got to unlearn all of that stuff. And some of you, I'm talking to you right now. You know I am. But your pride is so strong because you've been either discounted or you've been lied to or he left you or she left you. It's so strong that it's trying to protect you. You have to let that go. Nobody cares that you've been mad for 3 years. Nobody cares what your sister did to you, but you're supposed to be the greater. The enemy is doing what he's supposed to be doing, and that's hold you accountable for that. You're just not doing what you need to be doing. Right now. Right now. Some of you are upset right now. All of it has to go. All of it. Hear me very closely. And I don't know who gave you this never say never. They say never, but they all say never, which is crazy that the person that tells you to never say never always says never. Never say this. Never say never. Okay, then why did you just say never by telling me not to say never? So you say never, then why would you say never? Make sense? Got it. Hear me very closely. You've got to get to the point that you know, number one, that you're better than this place. Number one, write it down. Number one, you're better than this place. Number two, you can get out. Period. You can get out. There is nothing holding you here. Number three, you're only going to get out if you hear God walk you out. I need you to get this. Unlearn what you've learned and let God get past how you feel about people, what they said. One of the ways to get past it, and this is very easy, just say what you were going to say. I don't want to hurt that. Gotcha, didn't he? If you don't want to hurt their feelings, say it in love. Don't just say it, help them out of it. You follow me? Stop making yourself susceptible to the changes and the whims of people. Make yourself susceptible to how God wants you to move. Because I've decided, here's your next thing. I'm good at this. The life that you live right now, I need you to type, I'm good at this. I'm good at living a life. But I'm going to be better. I'm good at this. My fear that I'm not going to be good at, this is Uncle Dallas. My fear that I'm not going to be good at it made me not good at it. But when I realized I'm good at this, it made me better. You're good at what you do. You've just got to let go of all the things that made you feel like you weren't. There's nothing in this world right now that's holding you where you are. If you're married, all you got is your husband. It ain't your children. I'm good at this. You know, people say, I'm good. No, I'm good at this. This I'm good at. Why? Because I'm going to keep on God until I find that vein. I'm going to keep in the face of God until I find that place where God puts me exactly where I need to be. I'm good at this. I did not know. I didn't remember that I told my wife last year, we are going to buy some property on the beach. I forgot I told her that. I forgot the things that I'm good at this. I'm good at this. I'm great at this. So now you have to sit and your prayer becomes, how do I show the world that I'm good at this? What do I do, God? What do I let go of first? Some of you are going to have to let go of people. Yeah, you got to let them go. Sorry. Some of you got to let go of, got to let her go. Some people you got to let go of that connection you have to your grandma, your mama, your auntie, your uncle, your dad, your dog. You got to let go of all that stuff. You got to let go of what they said in their past. You got to let go of what they said. You got to let it all go. Now, understand something in the spirit. Nothing ever goes anywhere. It's just reserved till God wants to use it. But you got to let it all go. All of it. There are new books in you. Let those go. There are new revelations in you. Let those go. There are new family members. He has new stuff for you, but you got to let it go. And as long as you don't let it go, you're making your situation more difficult than it was. There's some of you that I can talk to right now that are saying, no, I don't even want to deal with the church people. So every time I say anything church or Bible or scripture, you go running. It's not about that. There's some of you, I just don't deal with religion. Every time somebody say religion, you go running. I'm bold enough and strong enough to handle anything that I want to handle. But I'm good at this. I let it go. Now, Pucky Patch, I let it go so that God can do what God wants to do. All right? I'm on live. You don't have any clothes on, so you can't come over here right now. Go on now, B. I'll come get you in a minute. I love you. I let it go. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Our Father which art in heaven, first part of Matthew 6. Our Father which art in heaven, holy be thy name. Our Father which art in heaven, holy be thy name. That's it. God, holy is your name. Make holy what I am. I unleash and release everything so that I can gain everything. Paul said, I have now released everything so that I can gain everything. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I appreciate you guys. I really do. I appreciate y'all. I really do. And I thank God for your patience and being with us. I thank you guys for Tuesday nights. And all of this, I keep saying it's going to change. But now I have to change it because I have to do it the way God says do it. I have to do it the way God says do it. Because I'm going to be good at this. I'm good at this. All right. I'm Uncle Dallas. This is the Higher Standards broadcast. You have just been taken to a higher standard. And I appreciate you for being here. All right. Make sure you like and share the video. Share, I don't know what, share the video with everybody you possibly can. Like the video as much as you can. Everybody that can give. If you can't give, don't worry about it. God will make it. He'll give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. So if you can't give. The more things I can start doing now, the more, because I'm going to have to eventually get to a point. I'm trying to not make this, well, no, I'm not trying to make this. I'm trying to make this what God made it. Whatever he wants it to be, that's what it's going to be. All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you, every one of you. Apostle, it's good seeing you. You can call me. It's okay. It's okay. You can call me. I'm not that busy that I can't talk to you. All right. You guys, everybody part of this part of the organization, you're going to get a flyer, because Apostle Andra's thing is the end of this month. And so if you want to be a part of it, you can be a part of it. I think it's $100, $150. I'm not real sure. I don't know. But you'll see it on the flyer. It's on the flyer. I think that's it. You will see me. Make sure you write down on your calendar Sunday sessions, because we will be here Sunday at 10 o'clock. And I think that's everything. Everything that I can remember off the top of my head. Again, I appreciate you. Make sure you follow all those wonderful things that we do online. You know, you can find me. Just type in Uncle Dallas or type in Higher Talk. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you on